Welcome to the Short Score, the Team Roping Journal's weekly updates from the team roping world, including from Pro Rodeo, major jackpots, USTRC, and World Series of Team Roping qualifiers, and more, with hosts Chelsea Shaffer
and Kaitlin Gustave.
Hey, Kaitlin.
Hey, Chelsea.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Short Score for the first week of April of 2019.
Too bad this wasn't on April Fool's Day when this releases.
I know. It is April Fool's Day while we're
Pull
recording
some pranks.
it, though. I know. I could make up a lot of inappropriate team roper pranks, but I ought not to at this point.
We'll save it for later.
Yeah. Save it for another time. Well, Kaitlin, what isn't a prank is that we are shipping an issue, and I've been busy working over at Horse and Rider, so I don't have a great grasp on what's going on in Pro Rodeo, and that's why you're here.
That is why I'm here.
You're so important. You
I
make
am.
this team roping world go round.
VIP.
You are. So I need you to tell me what's going on.
Well, for starters, for Rodeo Austin, Laramie Allen, he was a Resistol rookie in the Resistol rookie race last year. Mm-hmm. Him and Jace Davis, they won that. Their final steer, they were 4.6 on him, and they added $9,400 to their earnings.
Money bags. That's
Money
awesome.
bags,
Good
yeah.
for those young guys.
Yeah, so they won that. There's a ton of guys that moved up in the standings just from Rodeo Austin, which was awesome. Cody Snow and Wesley Thorpe, just from Rodeo Austin, they banked $14,412. Tons of money. They ended up second in the finals there with a 4.9. Caleb Schmidt and Will Woodfin, they banked $7,326.
I love watching Caleb Schmidt win in the team roping.
He does good.
I love watching Caleb rope. I think he deserves all the good things that come to him. So that's exciting, and good for Will Woodfin too.
Yeah, it's awesome. They moved up. Caleb's now 39th in the standings, and Will's 21st.
Watch out for that Caleb Schmidt in the all-around then.
Right?
Holy cow.
He's up there right now.
Good.
Yeah. Then we have Brenton Hall and Chase Tryon. They banked $6,375. They're 26th and 25th in the world right now.
Awesome. And that Brenton, he was so close to making the finals last year.
Mm-hmm. Especially as a Resistol rookie, too.
Yeah, that was exciting. And he's got Chase, who is just roping so good. That's been an awesome partnership for Chase. So good to see that happening.
Yeah, it's cool to see them continue on with their strengths right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Peyton Emmett and Joe Day. They banked $5,594. They're 17th in the world and 27th right now, so that's awesome. And then at Redmond, Oregon, Jake Stanley and Justin Davis, who, if you wait at the end of this episode, is on the Short Score.
We have a lot to talk to Justin Davis about. We're going to talk to him about, well, actually, right now we've got a feature story up on our website about the top mares, which I cannot wait for you all to see that. If you haven't gotten your March issue yet, which you definitely should have gotten your March issue by now, but maybe you haven't had time to visit with it. There's a story on the greatest mares of all time. Justin has had a hand in a lot of them, so I'm excited to talk to him about that. And then we're also going to talk to him about the Broc Cresta Memorial, which we are getting close to. It's obviously a really important roping for the whole team roping industry, and Justin's an incremental part of it. And Justin just won Redmond, Oregon with Jake Stanley, so we'll talk to him about that.
Yeah, and they're first in the Columbia River Circuit right now, too. They just from that win, they moved up to number 1.
Cool. I can't wait to see what Justin's got going this year. I'm really excited to talk to him, so I hope you all enjoy that interview. Oh, in the meantime, Kaitlin, you went to the World Series of Team Roping this weekend in Eaton, Colorado. Can we talk about how much money you won?
Nada.
Not yet.
Not yet. I caught really good on my first run, and it just fell apart. It's fine.
We're going to have a new segment of this podcast and be like,
can't catch Kaitlin.
Can't catch Kaitlin.
But, I cracked out my calf horse to head on. Mm-hmm. I haven't done that in a while, and he was rank.
And then you went to the practice pen after the team
I
roping.
did. I came home after the team roping and got on my actual head horse, and steer stopped a lot.
Steer stopped a lot.
Mm-hmm. Definitely read that article we have up with Bobby Moe on rating head horses. I read that daily.
Good. Did it help?
Oh, yeah. We turned our last steer, and he was rating.
That's good.
Pretty good.
That's good. I Okay, well, Kaitlin, really glad to know that you've got your horse all tuned up and ready to go.
Yeah, we're ready. But it was a great roping.
Yeah.
It was a good turnout. A couple of my good friends won, a couple ropings, a couple placed. Definitely a good one. At that Grand Hills Arena up in Eaton, Colorado. It was a great roping.
Lance Allen, we always end up talking about your ropings just because they are near and dear to us.
I go to them, so.
Yeah, so.
Good steers. They had pretty good steers this weekend, too. So
Good.
That always helps.
Good. I saw in that 9.5, Jessie Miller, who's our friend here, lives right by us. She won.
Western Wavelength podcast.
Yeah, on the Western Wavelength podcast. Man, we should have included that in our podcast Team Ropers should be listening to.
Should have.
But y'all, we're going to give you a heads up. The Western Wavelength podcast with Jessie Miller. She won the 9.5. I forget what her partner's name
Gunnar
was.
Walker.
Gunnar Walker. Perfect.
I was supposed to rope with him, and I ended up not going that day.
Well,
Yep.
there's your lesson.
That's my luck. Great for them, though.
Yeah, good for them, though. But there were 3 girls in the top 4 in that roping, so that was cool to see. I love seeing all the ladies doing awesome. So and it was great to see all of our friends do well there this weekend. So as far as the rest of the World Series goes, go to WSTRroping.com, check out the schedule, get entered. There's lots of good stuff coming up. It's getting to be super busy this time of year, so can't wait to see it. Oh, before we go, we do have to say Chad Masters and Joseph Harrison, they just won the Lone Star Open, which is not the same as the Lone Star Shootout, which I have to keep reminding myself because they just have such a similar name. But the Lone Star Open is in Buffalo, Texas, sponsored by Lone Star Ropes, and Chad Masters and Joseph Harrison were the big winners there. They won a ton of money. Didn't it pay like $37,000? 35,000.
So split 17-5.
Wow, that's awesome. Those guys were due for a big win, so
That's awesome. It's great to see those guys always up there.
yeah, good people for sure. Hey, don't forget, the USTRC just got a brand new Instagram page, USTRC Official. Follow them on Instagram just so you can keep up with what's going on in that association. You can look for the schedule in our March issue for the rest of the year for the USTRC. There's info on the US finals in the April issue, which kind of keep moving in that direction, kind of rolling out more and more information as it gets closer to time to start entering. So that's about what I have today, Kaitlin.
I think that's about it.
All
Ready
right.
to hear this interview.
Yeah, everybody enjoy Justin Davis. Thank y'all.
Oh,
Hey, Justin.
how you doing, Chelsea?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
What are you doing? You having business meetings? You're a busy man.
I am. I'm driving around the state of Oregon right now selling cattle actives.
Oh, that's awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool. I love that stuff. This is
Good
like
stuff.
a free commercial for Zank, but I love Cattle Active.
No kidding. You ever use Zestera on your horses?
Oh, yeah, I use Zestera. I use Zestera and Cattle Active, so we are regular customers of the Zancanella family.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm the new West Coast region sales manager.
You have a big kid job. That's
I
exciting.
have a real big kid job. The best thing about Matt Zancanella being your boss is you can still rodeo, too.
Yeah, heck yeah, that's awesome. Good to hear it. So you're are you on the road throughout the week then, visiting clients, or what are you doing?
I'm going to different ranches and different feedlots and dairies and cell barns and stuff like that and getting them guys on our program because we have a mineral program too, so they got our gut health product in the drench and then the drench is in the mineral as well, so we get it to the cattle year round and just keeps them healthier and they don't get sick and they gain more weight and the ranchers and feedlot guys love it.
That's cool. Very, very cool. Well, welcome to the career path, my friend.
No kidding. Thanks for opening.
That's awesome. You just won Redmond, and you are winning your circuit. Tell me about Redmond this weekend, and then about your rodeo plans for the rest of the year.
Well, like I was saying, the working and the rodeoing goes hand in hand because you're not stressed out about winning at the rodeos to get to the next one and do the whole 9 yards. And me and Jake Stanley are just an old team from way back. And I'm actually going to rope with Ryan Reed this spring in California. But I'd already talked to Jake about roping at Redmond first, so we stuck to our guns and it worked out. But yeah, it was a good win. That's a good rodeo to start your year off out here, especially for someone like me who hadn't been rodeoing this winter. I flew to one rodeo, went to San Antonio, one around there, and then one Redmond, so I've been to 2 rodeos and got a decent amount of money won after being at 2 rodeos, so it's kind of nice. I'm hoping I can just ease around out here this spring and maybe have a chance when Reno rolls around. Then I'll enter hard over the summer in July and August.
So who are you going to rope at the BFI with?
I'm planning on roping with Ryan right now.
With Ryan, so that you said this spring with Ryan, so I wasn't sure if that meant you were.
Yeah, well, we're just going to start next week at Oakdale and see how it goes. If it goes good, we'll keep going.
Cool.
If it doesn't, I guess we'll figure something else out after that.
What horse do you have right now? I think you've told me a little bit about it, but
I just got that little roan, call her Bliss, and she's 6 years old. She's about all I got, other than my old horse, but he's 20.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you knew I sold the Sorrel mare, so I don't have her anymore. And so, you know, for being a 6-year-old though, she's as good as I could ask for having a young horse and putting that kind of pressure on her to be able to make those kind of runs. But I've kind of trained her to be a rodeo horse, and she's turned out to be one.
And you said Kaitlin was looking through photos to make a little teaser for the fact that we were going to talk to you today, and the photo she pulled was a picture of little Kim. So how many, you've had so many great mares, and our top mare issue just came out. You're a mare guy, huh? Kind of on accident?
You know what's crazy is I never owned a mare in my life until I got little Kim.
Mm-hmm.
And I got little Kim in 2007. And then I followed it up when I got Shakira after that, and then I got this one. So there's only three mares I've ever had, but I've been fortunate. They were all pretty much great.
Yeah, you're like batting 1,000 in a mare thing. That's
yeah. And like this one here, how I ended up with her was there was an old Hall of Fame braided cow horse guy in Central California, and his name was Benny Gatrone, and he got cancer a couple years ago and passed away, but him and Todd Hampton were really good friends, and Todd would take him to his chemo treatments. And so as his cancer deal was going on, he kind of weaned out most of his herd, and he kept his 2 favorite mares the way Todd explained it to me. And Todd bought one, and I bought one. And so it was just neat. She was 3 years old, never been roped on a day in her life when I got her, and I bought her over the phone just by taking Todd's word. He said, "Trust me, if you take this horse, you won't be disappointed." And I said, "All right."
Awesome.
And she's just catty. She's got everything you need. She's got the moves. She's related to my old horse, Slim Shady. And so, you know, she's a one-time Pepto, plus she's got relation to him. So he's, I guess in human terms, he would be her uncle. And I mean, he was as good of a horse as I ever rode. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he was the best one I ever had. But so that was really struck me about her as buying a 3-year-old, and she wasn't cheap for a 3-year-old that never been roped on. I was nervous about it. So the fact that she worked out was pretty handy. And I kind of leaked her into my program a little bit last year because she was so good at a young age. I rode her. The first place I took her was Austin. That was the first rodeo I ever took her to, and I won. I placed in the first round on her. So I was like, man, she's a winner. And then I didn't ride her again until the spring, and I rode her at Red Bluff and Clovis and all them rodeos. I won second at the Hork Dog on her. I'm like, here I am winning second at the Hork Dog on a 5-year-old. So so then I thought I better put her away. So I rode her at the BFI, and then I didn't ride her the rest of the summer until the fall. And then I rode her. I placed on her at Ellensburg, and I placed on her at Lakeview, and those were the last rodeos. She had not been to a rodeo since Ellensburg on September 1st until Redmond this weekend.
Is she smaller than the other ones? I mean, I can't imagine you get much smaller than Shakira.
She's not real big, but she's thicker from top to bottom. She's deeper. Like I took her to the vet a month ago, and they put her on the scale. She's probably only 14.1, but she weighed 1,100.
Holy cow!
Yeah, they were surprised that she was that much of a tank. She doesn't really look like, when you look at her, you wouldn't guess her to weigh that much, but that's what she weighed. She weighed 1,098.
That's awesome. That's cool. I like little horses like that. Very
cool. So I gotta have one good one around. Otherwise, I don't have a job in the rodeo world. If you don't have a good horse, you can't win, and you're only as good as what you're riding. I'm a firm believer in.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've had guys try to buy her from me all the time, but if I sell her, I'm shooting myself in the foot. I don't have nothing to ride anywhere.
Yeah, you'd sure enough be a foot. Oh man. Well, so. Tell me though, you're busy. When you said you were going into a meeting with somebody, I thought for sure you were planning something out for the Broc Cresta. What's the game plan for that? What are the dates, and how's it going? How's the planning going?
Well, to start off, I was in a meeting with the biggest ranch in the state of Oregon. They have 500,000 acres.
Holy cow!
But yes, Broc's roping is sneaking up on me, and it's good this year. It's crazy how big that roping is. I mean, for the West Coast, there's not a lot of big ropings out here other than the BFI. And, now the Pickens is a good roping, and the West Star roping's a good roping, and I mean, there's a couple others. But that one has gotten famous out here. People love it. I mean, number one, I think the setting, when it's at the ranch, the setting's pretty. And, Brandon brings the best steers in the world. He'll have, the thing about Brandon is he'll have 100 some odd Mexicans, and he'll go through Mexican steers, and he'll go through them, and we'll whittle them down to 80 to where every single steer does the same thing. And so, moving forward with that roping, though, we did the Pro-Am entries online this year because it fills up so much that the Pro-Am takes up most of the day, and we still have to do the open roping, the main roping. So we limited to 100 headers, 100 heelers, and do online entries from March 15th to April 1st, and they filled up the heading in one day.
That is crazy. Most Pro-Ams are like begging guys to come.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Filled it up, had 100 headers in one day.
Yeah, that's awesome. And now the Pro-Am guys, the amateur side of it, are they like local people who knew Broc that roping means something to them? Is it just people that come?
A lot of them are, but a lot of them it's changed around where you're getting out. I get people from Nevada. I just had a person call me right before I called you from Torrington, Wyoming, asking me about the roping. They're coming.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah, because we have the junior NFR now as well the day before on Monday evening.
Okay.
And so they come, they can enter the junior NFR, they can enter the Pro-Am, and it's boomed.
Oh man!
I can't believe how big it is, but it's great. It's great, and it keeps Broc's name alive and his legacy. And he's one of the most talented people with a heel horse and a heel rope that I ever met. So it's good to see people not forgetting about him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun. It seems to be like we remember him in different ways every year. I mean, now Spencer's little boy's name's Broc, and a whole nother way to talk about him in a different way he comes up in conversation now. It's nice. It's very nice.
Yeah. And it's usually positive, it's not nothing sad anymore. We've gotten kind of past that point. I mean, I still have my days once in a while, but anybody does, I guess. You lose your best friend or somebody that close to you,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well,
but it's been good now. I mean, that roping's booming. We got coach saddles this year. Larry did a great job, made all the saddles for it. It should be a good turnout. I've got a lot of phone calls. I know that the entries are up in the spring rodeos, so we should have a lot of teams in the open roping as well. As long as the weather stays good for us, it'll be perfect. If it rains, we end up going to the indoor arena in Red Bluff, and so it's just not the same atmosphere.
Yeah.
But we've only had to do that one time, so cross our fingers we don't have to do that again.
Yeah, gosh, that's such a beautiful place. I love looking at those pictures and the videos from the ranch where you guys do it. It's just so
and X Factor's going to video it this year.
Oh, awesome. Good to know.
And then it'll also be available to purchase on Casey Jones's app, the Reach Out West app.
Yep. That's perfect.
So, yeah. So
I love when Pace goes to ropings. It's like when X Factor can go to roping, it's like the gift that keeps on giving.
I agree.
Because it's not just like a live feed of a short round. It's up there on the website forever, and you can keep accessing it. And I get little video clips from him of it, so I love it. I love when Pace goes.
Let's see, I videoed the first year that we did it, and I don't know if you remember, we had some DVDs, and I tried to make it kind of like the Hork Dog video, and everybody liked it, but I didn't know what I was doing. And so I hadn't really done it lately. I mean, I had a local people come over, and they would video it and whatnot, and you could buy a DVD from them, watch your runs type deal, but I thought, man, we need to get it back on there, and no later than I thought that we needed to have it on TV somehow. Pace called me and wanted to come out, so it worked out perfect.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. That really is perfect.
Yeah.
Well, sir, I hope I get to see you in Reno. I'm sure I will.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. I hope I'm entered after Reno. I need to have a good spring, and then I'll be entered up come July if I have a good spring.
Awesome. Well, you've got a place to stay during Greeley. We are always looking forward to seeing you.
Well, thanks, Chelsea. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks
for
Justin.
calling me.
Absolutely. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Well, that is a wrap for the short score.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's always nice to talk to you, Kaitlin.
Thanks. I appreciate you talking to me.
All right, everybody. Have a great week. Well, before we forget, this week is a score week.
It is.
It is a score week. God,
With
dang it.
none other than
The Blaster.
what?
We just talked to the Rodeo Houston champ at my kitchen table. And so I was going to hold off for a couple weeks for his interview, but I can't wait to share it with you guys because, the Blaster has been, obviously, we've gotten to see him for many years here in Colorado. He's close to us. We love him dearly. But maybe the rodeo community as a whole hasn't seen Blaster for about a decade. Not all the time. So I want you all to get to listen to his interview because if you know Blaster, there might be some things in here that are obvious, and then there might be some parts of this interview that are really surprising. So I hope you enjoy it. Ty, thanks for stopping by the house. Thanks for visiting with me. It was early in the morning, and you drove many hours to meet me, so I appreciate it. Thanks, y'all. Have a great week.